Alright, today I'm going to take you day in the life of my life. We're going to go to auction today. We're going to pick up some materials, and I'm just going to show you some of those things. Alright, one of the things we got today was some books for real estate inspection. Here's the inspector prep course book for both the state and the federal. And then we have 3 books and a codes book for Texas inspection. So we have Texas law that has to do with what you're allowed to do and what you're allowed to say. This is home inspections. This is the standards of practice book. So this is going to have to do with when you actually are looking at the property. You know, what things do you see? What's important to point out? And then we have our ride-along book, which I have not done the ride-alongs yet. I'm hoping to get that scheduled after I finish these classes this week. And I don't know if I write in it as I go through, but I'll have to remind myself to let you know. The code check book, these are nice. I've got a couple of these now. This must be state specific because I already have one for the federal. There's some minor differences between Texas state laws and Texas federal laws, so this is all electrical. Some stuff I need to learn for the state exam. But that's one of the things we did. Windshield wiper fluid. Got a new battery today. I just drank this French vanilla sugary iced coffee from Texaco. This is the Bexar County Courthouse. As you can see, huge building. San Antonio is one of the biggest cities in Texas. Have their own basketball team here, even though Austin doesn't have a basketball team. So, I don't know if San Antonio is bigger than Austin, but I don't think it is. So auction's going to be right up here around the corner. They hold both the sheriff's sale and the trustee's sale at the same location. Sheriff's sale is done for the day. They finished up around 11:30, and then now we're going to do the afternoon trustee sales. We already did some this morning. There's our tent over there. We're the red ones. The yellow is a different company that does the same thing that we do. And our people are sitting by the tent. As you can see, it's starting to wrap up. It was a very rainy day today, so it's a little bit slow because of that. I'm going to show you inside this building here in a few minutes. We have a really cool museum, and then that'll be it for the day.
Second bid is $40,970.
Alamo.
40,971 is current bid.
Go up. 41,000.
41,000.
50.
50.
52.
52.
53.
53.
54.
55.
It was 57.
57.
58.
59.
60.
62.
62.
65.
66.
67.
68.
68. 500.
69.
70.
Careful with her.
Okay.
How you doing, man? You look good. You get a mobile home?
Trying.
We're at 71 currently.
I got 51. Here we are in the Bexar County Historical Center. Lots of really interesting artifacts in here talking about the Spanish and pre-Spanish inhabitants of this land. We're going to hear some things from the Alamo in here, as well as lots of cool artifacts. So you have a really old Bible that is just massive, and then a little Bible here, religious books and practices through Bexar County in 19th century. By the way, that's B-E-X-A-R, pronounced Bear. So it says Bible 1892 in English with the Norwegian inscription Martin Borsheim fra Frader ag Mader. Motor, 1895. Polish prayer book with faux tortoiseshell cover and metal hinged clasp. Den Lily Bible, the Little Bible, or Bibel, Danish, 1889. German Bible, 1881, with embossed cover and 2 latches. Must be the big one. And Psalm Broken Den Svenska, Evangelisk Broken, Psalm book, Gospel book, Swedish, 1884. So this is the German Bible here with the 2 latches on the side. Love to open that up. But here we have some really cool needlework, an old sewing machine. And we come down here, we're going to learn about annexation, immigration, Civil War, and recovery from the year 1845, which is right before the Civil War. The Civil War started in, I believe, 1860, 1865. And then Texas did join the Confederacy. But they were a little bit removed from the entire thing. What's interesting about Texas is it was the last place that the slaves were freed, which was in Galveston. So the slaves got their freedom at the end of the Civil War. Really, they were freed from the Emancipation Proclamation, but you know, it was only freed slaves in the South, and the South was, you know, not going to abide by that because that was a Northern proclamation. And so after the war was over, there were many slaves still, because they hadn't heard word that A, the war was over, and B, that they were free. So Galveston was the last place, and that's why they celebrate Juneteenth. That was the day, June 19th. Probably 1865, I would guess. Could be 1866, but maybe 1864, one of those years, that the slaves were freed. The final slaves were freed. We had a really great message in church about that. It was talking about how, here's the Alamo. It was talking about how I believe that's the Alamo. It was talking about how, you know, that the slaves were freed, but no one had come to tell them that they were freed yet. And so they were talking about how we're free in Christ, and how some people don't know that we're free in Christ, or don't really take that to heart in a way, and actually still live as if they're a slave to sin. So that was a nice message. So this is the more modern part of the museum. I'm not really liking this side as much. Cultural arts and crafts and there's sports. We have a friar talking over here. What else to show you? Texas law. There's the courthouse. That's where we are today. Only people are dressed a little bit differently in those days. And in here, these are some old, this is a medicine. So we have pouches, conclaves, convents. We have some vials here. So this is the medicine section. This is a historic medical instrument. Little liver pills, 1800s. This is kind of neat. This looks like it's a little satchel you could kind of fold up and take it with you. This is doctors making house calls back in the mid-19th century to the mid-20th century. So that would be from 1850-ish, around the time of the Civil War, to 1950-ish. And then I guess everybody's just started going to hospitals, stopped doing house calls, which is a little bit sad. This would be a bookbinding press. That's how they used to make books. Here we have Matilda Stevens. She was the sheriff, and in front of her, we have handcrafts brought to Bexar County by new residents. I'm trying to do a little thing here. So we can't go in here, but this is what they're doing as a crime scene investigation area, but they are remodeling it right now. But I'm more interested in the earlier part, which is, how, San Antonio, this area has had a very long history going back to even before Spanish were here. And so here's the frontier order, record keeping in Spanish or Bexar County. So we have the province of Texas, province of Chuya and province of Nuevo Santander. And we are going to be right about here. So I believe we're in the province of Texas, where we are right now. So these are the books. You'll see these books, these exact books, still in use today at the county records building. They bind divorces, marriages, all kinds of things in these large books, and just keep them on record, which is really nice. So they have the rose window. The rose window refers to the window located in Mission San Jose, the largest of the UNESCO World Heritage of the Missions. The window gains notoriety for its unique shape, created in 1775 during the Spanish colonial period, and the rose window's origins are unclear. However, its iconic shape became an inspiration to many. In Bexar County, several buildings added their style of the rose window to its facade. This includes the Bexar County Courthouse. Even the city of San Antonio uses this in part of their branding. I will tell you, we don't have to pay to come in here. This is just something, if you come down to San Antonio, a lot of stuff is free. You can walk down the river walk for free. You can walk through their ginormous malls for free. You can walk around the Alamo for free. I think it costs money to get inside, it seemed like. You can walk into this building, which is in the courthouse on the first level. I wouldn't say the basement level. That's where there's some snacks and stuff like that for charge. But as you can see, this is one of the original maps here. And where we live is Waco. It's right on the Brazos River, which I believe is going to be about right here. And then we're down here in San Antonio. I probably got that a little bit wrong, but sort of the central part of Texas. It's interesting how big of a bay that is. I don't recall that being such a big bay near Houston. Texas goes like this, and it's called Galveston Bay, so that's where Houston is, but I don't recall it being that big. So it's a frontier outpost in Spanish and Mexican Texas, 1718. Also the famous longhorn cattle that you see as an image of Texas. Those are actually brought over by Spain, and they would, every time they found a water source, they would drop off like 6 to 18 of them. I can't remember how many exactly, but they would drop off a bunch of them, and they just ended up populating the area. So, and then there ended up being a cattle drive. So this is Bexar. Not sure. This was a Bexar government, interesting, and then other counties. But the cattle drive would start here, and then it would cross the Brazos at Waco. That's why we have that suspension bridge, which I did that video on. And it would come up through here, through Colorado, and end up, I believe, in Wyoming and Montana, eastern Montana. And they have bucking horse sale in Montana and a lot of famous things. It's kind of the end of the cattle drive is up there, and it starts here, and it just kind of drove up. What stopped that big time was the way that the West was tamed, and that would be the invention of barbed wire fences. So people couldn't just cross people's property anymore, which would have been really nice to be able to just go where you wanted to go. So we have a cannonball here, or a cannon here. I'm not sure the size of the cannonball. It looks like maybe about 4-inch cannonball in diameter, maybe 3. The governor of Louisiana, Bernardo del Galvez, Bexar County supported the American colonialists in their fight for independence from Great Britain, sent an emissary, Francisco Garcia, requesting the first cattle drive out of Texas to feed the Spanish troops engaged in the war against the British. Garcia arrived in San Antonio de Bexar on June 20th, 1779. So that's back when this was just all frontier land. And by August of that same year, over 2,000 heads of Texas cattle were headed to Galvez's forest. Most of the cattle were provided by ranches located alongside of San Antonio River Valley and the La Bahia area, today known as Goliad. Today, over 80 Spanish settlers from Bexar County have been recognized for their efforts in supporting the American Revolution. Here is 1915, so just over 100 years ago, a picture of the same building that we're standing in right now. So we're talking about why San Antonio is a great place to live. Now, San Antonio is a good place to live. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a great place to live. It does have its crime problems, and it does have other issues as well. It's very hot, very humid. There is a lot of fun things to do, I will say. So they have a, SeaWorld here. They have Six Flags. They have all kinds of historical stuff. Obviously, the Alamo, wonderful food, really, really, really good Mexican food. And that's starting to add fusion to other cultures as well, like Thai and even Houston. Actually, Houston is like really the food mecca right now of the United States, some people say, because Houston is now the most diverse city in the United States. And so all those different cultures coming in are not only like creating their food, which their recipes are amazing, but they're like mixing it with other foods. So you're having like tacos, but the style is, Filipino with tacos together, like kind of a fusion of two cultures. So this is the Heritage Theater, and this is going to be where they're going to do a show about the area. I might sit down and watch it, but I won't record it. So I am going to turn this camera around and say goodbye. All right, thanks for coming with me a day in the life, seeing some of the things that I get to see. I'm just super blessed to have a job that lets me go out and see places and see things. As I work to become a home inspector too, that might also allow me to go into different parts of town, see different things. And I like to slow things down, try to eat something that's local. Today I had gas station coffee, so I wasn't very good about it today, but try to eat something local, maybe try to meet somebody. Today there's a 18-year-old who's new to auctions who I told to come down with me today and look at this museum. So hopefully he's gonna pick something up out of it too. But make sure you like and comment on this video and maybe consider subscribing. Thanks. And turn on the notifications. All right, here's a little bonus footage for you, sort of. First of all, I love this road. It's 80 miles an hour, sometimes 85 miles an hour. 130 near the Austin airport. And you can see what they've got going on over here, what Elon Musk has put in. This is the new Tesla factory, and it is so big. I don't even know if it will even look big on this, but it's almost done, and it just goes on and on and on, but it's huge. It's so huge. So anyway, you can drive by this, you can